what you notice that you're feeling and the evidence of it. So how you know when you're feeling overwhelmed, you yell at your kids. How you know when you're resenting a partner, you start to pick at him or her, or you beat yourself up, and what that looks like, or how it feels in your body. Some of you were able to identify that, which is awesome. That feeling state, like overwhelm, anger, anxiety, whatever it is, that is your energetic signature, I'm going to call it. And what I want to say about feeling that way, and I'm going to offer a bit of a teaching and training on this right now, is that that feeling of overwhelm or anxiety or resentment is a thing that you are in harmony with. Whatever we feel is a state, kind of an energetic state. All things are energy. I know you've heard me talk about that, but like, you know that I know that everything is energy, and emotions are also energy. And a lot of people are not talking about this. This is not sort of your run-of-the-mill conversation about feelings, but everything moves. Everything vibrates. Everything moves. Everything is frequency and energy, including our emotions. And so when we're talking about healing wounds, we're talking about moving energy. We're talking about releasing stuck emotions and blocks that are within us that we are hanging on to. A lot of times, like, we don't mean to, we don't want to. It makes us mad that they're in there, but we want to let them go, but we don't know how, and we're scared. And so whatever it is, whatever the block is, whatever the energy is, this is something that we are in harmony with, you guys. I'm inviting you into radical ownership today. I really want to blow your mind about this and really get you to the table of decision making about your own life. If I am angry or resentful, and I'm playing negative thoughts that are all about that feeling, that support that feeling, that uphold that feeling, that prove that feeling is justifiable, worthwhile, important, that I'm right, then all of my being, my thoughts, my feelings, and my energy are supporting that state, and I'm in harmony with it. Usually when we hear the word harmony, it is some kind of pleasant idea. What are we in harmony with? But we can be in harmony with anything. And we are in harmony with what we feel. So we are in harmony with negativity, with fear, with worry, with bad stuff coming our way, when we're in anxiety, when we're in overwhelm. That is what we are in harmony with. When we are resentful, when we're mad at our families for not appreciating us, so martyrdom energy or victimhood energy, we're in harmony with a lack of appreciation. So feeling empty, broke, poor, emotionally sort of in poverty. We're not getting what we want out of life. We're mad about it, right? So we're in harmony with disrespect. We're in harmony with emptiness or loneliness. These are states that we get into harmony with for many, many reasons. And I'm not going to go into all of that because it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Sometimes people want to go to therapy and analyze their whole life, and they want to detail how weird things started and what's the origin and why it's showing up now. But why? Like, why? Would you like to do that for 3 years? Or would you rather just find out what's going on in you and change the pattern? You know what I mean? So what are you in harmony with? And I want you to be brave enough to acknowledge that. Yesterday you named a feeling state. Today, I want you to acknowledge I'm in harmony with that. And so what does that mean? Well, I want to just say a little bit about that energetic signature. So what I mean with that is like it's the energy that you are resonating with. If you are a vessel, a receptacle, whichever way you want to think about it, you are a container for... You guys give me an example. What's the feeling that you named yesterday? And I'll use that one. It takes a second for comments to come up. If you're containing frustration, if that's what gets the best of you, you wind up blowing up and yelling at your kids and then seeing their little faces and knowing what you're doing to them. And it's so painful. It's so, so painful. If you are, okay, fear's coming up. So that frustration or fear, you're receptacle for fear. You know, when you have fear in your body, you're vibrating with that frequency. It's a really low frequency. When you're skating in that fear vibe, and you're containing it, you're feeling it, you're activating it, even if it's subtle, and you think it doesn't come up that much, but really, really come to the table of making a decision about your life and be willing to see all the moments where fear decides for you, where you don't do something because fear's in the way, or where you stay sort of safe, right? Because the fear is big, or where you don't speak and say what feels true for you because of a fear of consequences. In all these ways, fear dictates our lives. And because it is not our highest truth, we're going to feel like crap when that's in the driver's seat. We're going to feel pretty miserable, pretty anxious, and pretty overwhelmed or pretty sad when that's in the driver's seat. And so when you're resonating with fear, you're going to attract it or be drawn to it in all the places, all the deep hidden places in your marriage, all the places that come up when you're a mother with your own children. You will be available for fear. So yesterday we said like attracts like, to use that phrase. And when I'm holding an energy and I'm dominant in an energy of anxiety or of fear-based emotions, I'm going to find it everywhere. It's going to basically dictate my life, and it's going to influence my decision making. It's going to be kind of the dominant force in how I approach the world and how I live in this world, which is why so many people are just wrought with anxiety. We could say, oh, it's early life trauma, or oh, it's a bad marriage, or oh, it's because she has, 2 ADHD kids and it's really hard. We can make those arguments, and we could prove why they're correct or why we're right in that, and we could cite all the evidence and we could stack all the evidence, but in none of that is a solution. In none of that is the resolving the fear-based resonance inside. Okay? Doesn't resolve the anxiety or the fear to justify why we're afraid. Are you guys with me? I know this is a very big teaching. It always winds up bigger than I intend. So let me cut to the chase. So when we are, I hope it's making sense. Tell me if it's making sense. So when we are filled up or resonating with, or in the space of like anxiety as our kind of our dominant thing, and then we're second guessing, and then we're whatever, because that's the frequency we're on, we can't be on the frequency of joy. And this is really so important for everyone to notice. Whatever we're choosing to be, and I'm going to call it being, like whatever we're being, if we're being anxious, that's in our being. That's the energetic stamp or signature we're approaching life with. So whatever we're being is what we are a match for. Okay? So things, then we go, oh my God, it's everywhere. It's everywhere because it's in us. And still, even though this is like really into a lot of mainstream sort of culture and literature now, I think we're not getting it on a consciousness level. Like we have to keep getting more conscious of this. Whatever I'm a match for, I'm picking up, I'm getting, I'm attracting. I'm attracting within my partner, from my partner, I'm attracting it in my family. And so if you don't like what you're getting, then you have to change at a being level. And the lesson today is clarity, because until we get into ownership of that, we have no power. to get on the frequency of joy. We just don't. Nobody can put us on it. There's no pill that can give us that. There's no new marriage that can give us that level of internal fulfillment. There is no perfect child who can create our fulfillment for us. There's no perfect job. As you guys know, a lot of you have reached out to me and said, I thought if I moved, I would be, I would feel fulfilled. I would feel happy. And that's all external conditional happiness in Buddhism. Talks a lot about conditional happiness. And it is hoping and trying and praying and fingers crossed that like something outside of me will create a better me. And so I invite you into an awareness that that isn't how it works, but what we're being will inform what we're getting. So if we want to be in fulfillment, if we want to be loved and supported and respected, and if we want affection, and if we want for people to love on us and appreciate us, then what's the answer there, you guys? What do we have to learn? How to be. We have to learn how to be in that kind of deep, connected, authentic gratitude, appreciation of our own value, of our own worthiness. We have to own that. No one can own it for us. We have to learn how to build that kind of ownership within ourselves. And it's a brick by brick situation. It is. It isn't a snap. It isn't an overnight thing. But this process of coming into notice what you are being is the critical precursor to that work. So I invite you to get brave. I invite you to stand in, come to the table of your own life and really look at these things. And as you do, you will notice things you haven't seen before. You will feel things you haven't seen before. And so, all right, being what you're being yields the results in your life. You got that? And yes, from other people. Like it yields the results that you're getting from your spouse. It yields the results that you're getting in your bank account. It yields the results that you're getting in your business and from your children. The level of cooperation. These things are not beyond your power. These things are not beyond your power or influence. We have a massive influence as women, as leaders of our families, as mothers. We set the tone for the way the family operates. We dial in what we want, and family responds every time. Every time. We are also interconnected. We are all interconnected. We are all part of a larger system, a larger energetic system. But we have individual me that we can control. And that's where the influence is. Okay? So never think that you don't have influence. So we're doing this because we want to see, we're recognizing how we feel and what the evidence of that is, so that we can see where it is hindering us. And when we see where and how it's impacting us or hindering us, then we can make an empowered choice about whether or not we're ready to really release that. Got it?